I'm here. Where are you? Let's get this off my screen. Looks terrible. I've got a doctor's appointment today, so I won't be long. Hey, I see I've got 3 in here. Ooh. Hey, pink butterfly. Ooh, I don't like sketch. Let's do a sepia today. So how's everyone doing? Glamour. Glamour shots, right? Nah, not me. Oh, thank you, Andy. Hey, Amber, give me a kiss. So, if the SDA Church and the Lamplight Theater has hired these refit dancers for the Gltzy dancer and feet fables, why hasn't the TBI released any kind of update on this? Why hasn't the TBI looked into this? Why hasn't the FBI looked into this? And where is Summer? I found the root. I found the beginning of the Gltzy dancer over on Vimeo. I put the video up yesterday where it started as a classroom project throughout the SDA schools. It started as protest art. They hired a flash mob for the very first video of protest art out of Waco, Texas. Okay, sorry about that. Are y'all still with me? If y'all are still with me, let me know if y'all can see me or hear me now that I've resumed. Put a 1 in the chat if you can still see me and hear me. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and if all this is traceable, why isn't the FBI car team tracing it? These Gltzy dancer videos claims that they know where Summer Wells, Michael Vaughn, Angel Overstreet, all these other kids are at. If this is one big production, and I believe now that it is, something needs to be done. Arrest needs to be made. I found where these kids started this project on this Gltzy dance going back 2 years ago, submitting ideas and protest art to build this. And since then, we have had kid after kid after kid after kid come up missing. And in the meantime, this feet fable thing grows. They are making money on Facebook selling socks to unsuspecting people who either thinks that this is going to help bring these kids home, or that honestly believes in this stuff. Tim Mullen had on his Facebook summer sales. Evidently she does, because they are selling feet fable socks. Every time somebody views that Gltzy dancer YouTube video, they make money. Every time somebody hits that website, they're making money. Don't think they're not. And they're gathering IP addresses. On the newer iPhones, if you go in your settings, there is a setting in there that says private relay. Turn that on. That scrambles your IP address. If somebody says that you don't know, hey, shoot me an email. Or if somebody shoots you an email that you really don't know, don't click on it and don't respond, because that's how they're getting your IP address. Right now, at this minute, I'm not responding to very many emails because of that. So if you try to email me, put in the heading who you are, blah, 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 how long you've been in my group, so I'll know that it's safe to respond to you. My advice is, if you are still handing out or sharing Summer Wells missing posters, make your own. Go to the TBI site, download their missing posters, and use those, because I feel like the tips that are being given through the Summer Wells website, that findsummerwells.com, they are not giving those tips to the FBI and to the TBI. Exactly, Andy. And that's why they're wanting you to use their missing posters, is because it's got their phone number and their website address as where to leave a tip. And that should be a big no-no. The tips should go through the TBI or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office only. Now this morning, they're wanting everybody to send Valentines cards to a P.O. box for Summer Wells. Well, are they giving them to her? You know, at Christmas, it was send Christmas cards for summer. And now it's Valentine's cards. What's up with that? And then not only that, your return address is on that. So they're also gathering addresses for mass mailings of SDA literature. Well, I'm going to go get a P.O. box because people have asked me, well, where can I send things to? I'm not going to give out my physical address. So I'm going to go down probably today or tomorrow and get a P.O. box for people to send things if they want. Hey, Jennifer. But they will be collecting things that you send there, and I promise you that they will get your return address and they will send mass mailings of SDA literature too. Why? And if she's missing, why are we sending Valentine's Day cards? Why are we sending Christmas cards? Here in a few days, look, let me tell you, they've jumped right past her birthday. Did you see anything about send her birthday card? Mm-mm. They jumped over her birthday into send Valentine's cards. Why? If we were going to send or celebrate anything, it should have been her birthday, right? That's just my opinion. Sorry, the sweater's choking me out this morning. Isn't her birthday like the 6th of February, I think? And Valentine's Day is like the 14th. Well, why send Valentine's cards to the SDA church if she's missing? If she's truly missing? Everybody who has been there that has crossed that Tennessee line, including Molly, Bullhorn Betty, Olivia, JLR, Cam, Allie, Benny, Ziggy, they've all signed non-disclosure agreements. And I am going to guess that most of the people who have consistently talked to them on YouTube on a regular basis have also signed non-disclosure agreements. I'm just going to guess on that one. Well, TBI Newsroom has a YouTube channel. How can they not know about it? When you tag them in a video and you send them the link to it, how can they not know about it? That's the big question. How can they not know? TBI runs this thing called Shadow Dragon. And They run it through all social media. I have explained this once before. Shadow Dragon is a program. And they run it through all the social media. And it will pick up every tag that's tagged TBI, FBI, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, Summer Wells, any keyword that they ask that program to pick up, it picks up. And it is constantly scanning the social media. So my question is, how do they not know about it? Because a lot of times after a live stream, I will go back and I will add in my tags Shadow Dragon or TBI, FBI. And people say, well, what happens to my live chat? Well, sometimes when you tag it Shadow Dragon, it takes it a while to scan that through, and the live chat just doesn't come back up. It's like when YouTube takes and reviews it. And that also saves time for them not to have to receive phone calls 24/7 for unnecessary tips. Well, I know that the Cold Case Foundation has a guy that's linked with Scotland Yard. And I know that they do have a guy that's working on it, um, that's from Scotland Yard. I don't know his name or anything, but I do know that the Cold Case Foundation does have a guy from Scotland Yard. Oh, thank you. I've got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. So I went ahead and done my makeup and everything. When Molly and Company went up to Tennessee or down to Tennessee, wherever they were from, look at the sympathy and pity that that brought to Don Wells. It seemed like everybody dropped their guard, forgot he was suspect, and a huge amount of sympathy went out. When a reasonable minded person could look and see that it was scripted and most moves were calculated to look that way. It had already been said that Richard Tucker was not even in town. Don Wells is a subcontractor and only subcontracts through Tucker Drywall. So he cannot just directly be fired. So do I think that Don lost his job that day? No, I don't. Exactly, Prairie Justice. Even the um what's the word I'm looking for? Give me just a second. The interview with Dudley Ajan. Was there any new information that come out that Sweetie Pie Low did not already cover? I did not hear one thing new that was truthful that had not already been previously said in another interview. It can't. And I'm going to have to get another phone because these brand new iPhones, you cannot, bring, I can't get on another panel because I have no phone jack for earbuds or a mic. I have to actually have Bluetooth earbuds and a mic for this iPhone. It won't do closed captioning. It won't do a lot of things. So what I've decided to do is I will probably just try and get a computer to do my YouTube stuff off of and just use my iPhone for a phone. Because when I tried to get on live panel with Cher the other day, it was just rejected and rejected and rejected. And these iPhones are getting to where they're not compatible with Google. It's ridiculous. It tells me, well, we're working on the problem between iPhone and Google, and well, that doesn't help me right now. My closed captioning is supposed to be on. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There was nothing new that came out of that interview with Dudley that was truthful that Sweetie Pie Low had not already covered. But you did see him sitting at a pretty expensive restaurant, spending a lot of donation money that had been sent to him. This case has got very disturbing. And I was watching another channel yesterday that says, oh, well, Valkyrie said that they're doing organ harvesting. No, that's not what Valkyrie said. What Valkyrie said was, over on Tim Mullen's Facebook page, there was a little boy that needed a liver that was out of time, that only had about 6 hours left, and he miraculously got that liver on the same day that Summer disappeared. That's what I said. And we also know that Tim Mullen likes to play games. And then it was said, well, what if it was organ harvesting. Well, wouldn't somebody have to prescribe anti-rejection meds? Yeah, they sure would. And did you know that I have found about 20 doctors just in the Kingsport SDA? Right there. And you're forgetting that the SDA owns the largest healthcare system in the Southeast and the largest healthcare system on the West Coast. So, for these other creators to attack me to say that there is no way possible, you need to back up and rethink what all these people own. But never did I say that that is my theory or that's what's going on. I said that's what Tim Mullen had posted on his Facebook page. And when Tim come out on Facebook and started taking questions, he said that he had only been involved with the Wells like since July, a month after Summer come up missing. Well, according to his Facebook page, that was a lie because he had been involved since around June the 17th. And that is when he was posting the, well, little girls would only come off of that hill to see puppies and horses. And that's when the horse took off running around TVI. So what I am saying is there is a lot of coincidences that start with Tim Mullen and the SDA group. Around this whole case that makes it disturbing. But here's the thing. Something happened to Summer Wells. We know for a fact that there are at least 3 human beings that knows what happened to her that day. One of them chooses to remain silent. What that tells me is that one may not have even been with them at all that day. If y'all will go back to my videos, back when Don first done the behavior panel, a month before Dr. Phil, he said Candace had to go to town and pick up her mother's prescription. He did not say Candace had to take her mom to the doctor. He did not say. Candace had to take her mom to the ER. He said she had to go pick up a prescription. So was Grandis even with her that day? Just a thought. I made a video. It said the timeline just changed because there was no hospital, there was no doctor. And then a couple of interviews later, I caught him saying the same thing. Dawn has never said, ever, that she took her mom to the hospital or she took her mom to the doctor. He has always adamantly said she took a prescription to have it filled. So, is that the reason Grandis is so silent? Because she has nothing to tell. Really? Y'all don't forget to go hit that like button. It only a second. Just takes a second. Don also he says that he doesn't leave for work till 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Summer was still in the bed asleep at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, according to Don. And he has always been adamant about that time. His time has never changed about what time he may have left the house that morning. He's never swayed on that. And Summer was still asleep. When she went to fill that prescription, she picked up Hunter. They dropped that prescription off. And Hunter went back home with her to drop Grandis her medicine off. I believe that. And make no mistake about this, Hunter's dad is coming forward now for a reason. There is a reason, whether it be only distraction, but that is one messed up guy. I watched about 5 minutes of his messed up ramblings. And when somebody asked him about did he think Summer could have been trafficked, he says, no, that kid was too scrawny. and he went to telling how kids get trafficked, and they get trafficked by their body weight and stuff. He knew way too much about how kids get trafficked. He said he looked it all up on the internet. I don't buy that. There's something about that guy that is weird. He has entirely too much information in his mind about how kids get trafficked. So, I go back on the internet and I look. And y'all know how they like gorge geese and ducks before they slaughter them for weight? Do you know that they like pack milk and stuff down these kids to make them fill out before they get trafficked? And y'all know that we have seen pictures of Summer where she looks thin and frail, and then in the next photo she looks really filled out and kind of chunky. And that makes me wonder right there if she was not being like gorged. I forgot what they called it. It started with a B. I'll go back and I'll look it up again and bring that information forth. But what I'm saying is I would have never went and looked had this guy not started telling how kids go by weight. But he's been brought forth for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. No, it wasn't binging. It was something else. It was like BELOUNGE or something to that effect. Don't mark my spelling on that. But it's like, yeah, he's just right out there with it. Like, he don't care. And people are flocking right over there to him like he is something to go listen to, like he has some sort of information that they want. Well, I tell you what, there's nothing else that he can say that I want to hear. No, the word wasn't bulimic, because this was like, I'll go find it and I'll make a short video on it. It was just almost sickening. Yeah, it's the one who has the panda avatar. That's the word. BLOUGHT. That was it. We know all those pictures of Summer aren't Summer. Some of them is that Carmichael boy. And let me tell y'all this, I cannot find a dad on that Carmichael boy. I cannot find where his mother was ever punished for kidnapping him. I cannot find any further information on her. It was just like that case just, I can't find those people. It's like they just fell off the face of the earth. But they are connected to Summer in some way. But you know, that was back when he come up missing. That was back in 2019 when the TBI done that study on human trafficking, the ones that are below Summerwell's name when you go into the TBI's website. That makes no sense for a human trafficking study being under a child's name that's disappeared in 2021, but the study was done in 2019. That's never made any sense to me. Half of these, now, like I said, I have found 20 out of 25 of those prominent people that I displayed yesterday were physicians, or a couple of them worked for the state of Tennessee. Very prominent people. Several of those hold pilot's license for small airplanes. These churches are buying up airstrips all over the world. And that makes you wonder, because Dawn has said many times she's far away from here. She's far, far away from here. She's in Mexico. Thank you, Oria. So is it possible that she is in Mexico? You know, there is a group, a splinter group, that's living down there close to Juarez on the Mexico side. And they had some dealings with the Mexican cartel, and something went wrong, and the cartel slaughtered just about all their kids a couple of years ago. Well, what happens when a church has splintered off from everybody else and they're living secluded and all their kids die? What happens to that group? Well, that group is going to die out if they can't replenish the children, right? Without kids, that splinter group can't go on. You have to have those kids to keep building, right? So are some of these kids that are coming up missing as far as I know, when they were in Georgia last, but these people, they have a huge home base in Maryland. They have been in Texas. They've been everywhere. And that's the point that I made in yesterday's video, is they travel in big groups. Even these prominent people, they all move together. But what I'm saying is, when these small groups, all their children die off, what did they do to keep that group going? They have to find children to replenish that group, right? So would it just be simple enough to say, maybe some of these missing kids are going to Mexico, to that splinter group where all the kids were slaughtered by the Mexican cartel? And then all these stories that Don has told would almost come together. He has told stories about taking drugs into Mexico at one time in his life. He has told stories about summer possibly being in Mexico. He has told stories about the Mexican cartel. He has told stories, Mexico this and Mexico that, and she's far away from here. Well, I did find that one group in Mexico that the Mexican cartel did actually slaughtered all their children. And that church group is trying to survive there with no children to carry on that splinter group. So all I'm saying is that's a possibility. It is a small theory in this big box. And if you go back to Ockman's razor of keeping it simple, it would fit. It would be very simple. This little place in Mexico was not, a far jump even from Waco. I mean, it's just exactly. So that would take away all the tragic, well, she was trafficked for sex. It would take away, she was trafficked for money. It would take away all these bad, horrible things. It's still horrible that she would be sent to live with a splinter group, but it would hide her for the purposes of her not being discovered by CPS. Right? It would keep it within their religious means. And keep her hid from CPS. Quick Trip to the airport, 2-seater plane, boom, bam, be in Mexico in 2 hours and somebody be right back. Done. And that, to me, would be a very simple, clean theory. What do you think? Exactly. That would fill in the 2 hours on the missing timeline. Simple. We have pictures of when they were searching, of Grandis bent over, moving boxes and doing this, doing that. We know her knee was not braced at that time, so we know even the brace story is false. I believe the doctor story is false. The TBI plainly on their website says there were no flower beds. So we know that was a lie. I don't think that there was any drugs. I don't think there was any weapons. I think that this was just a simple attempt at hiding a S-age child from social services. Or you can even take the SA part out of it, just hiding a child from social services so they wouldn't go to jail. I honestly don't think that it has anything to do with body parts and organs. I think that Tim put that on his Facebook page to start that rumor to make us all look like fools. So they could say, oh, look at what they're doing to the Summer Wells case. See why we need to, put a gag order on YouTube. See why we need to shut them up. Look at what they're doing to this case. When they are the ones that are putting this out there. I seriously doubt that we could prove that the guy had a transplant because of the HIPAA laws. I'm sure TBI could find out. And I'm sure that TBI has been over his Facebook pages with a fine tooth comb. If I could find it, the FBI has found it. But what I'm looking for is what's between the lines that is not being said. That's, or maybe just has been said in the beginning that has not been said anymore. And trying to find out why these NDAs are so important to these people. The best thing that could happen to this case, I feel, is Hawkins County Sheriff's Office declares it to be a cold case. And that way, the FBI can completely take over. Exactly. See, Ernie's, that was all a production. That was all a show. And that's all of this has been. So why the big show and the production? It's to say, look here, so you're not looking over here. Allison and Hunter know. And if that child's not alive, Allison and Hunter know. Jody Sue knows. Well, welcome. I love new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And like I said a few videos ago, nowhere in the history of kids being abducted have we ever seen such a production. We've never seen a hiring of a media manager or a PR manager. Even as famous as JonBenet Ramsey was, she did not have a PR manager. She did not have a media manager. They hired defense attorneys and used liaisons through the police department. Well, these people have denied liaisons through the police department. That's your first clue when they refuse to work with the police. If my child was missing, I would take everything that the police was offering to help me find my child. And they have turned down every service that has been offered. And the SDA and their actors are running the show over here. You will have to get Carl to explain the butterflies with Enchanted Life Path. I'm not up on exactly all the symbolisms and everything. I can do the mythology, a little bit of the Greek mythology, but I'm more up on the Asatru, the Venatru, the Odin, uh, that kind of mythology. Carl does the symbolisms a whole lot better than I do. I know about the Pan because Pan shows up not only in Greek mythology, but he shows up in Roman mythology. He shows up in different eras of time and becomes something else. I love Carl. I do. He's very smart. And people just don't hardly want to send super chats to people who really are doing research, but they want to send super chats and big amounts of money to people like Molly and Bullhorn Betty that are doing scripted productions that's helping these people hide this child. If the productions would stop, we could find her trail. Do y'all not think when Benny was holding up that shoe that that's eventually not going to become an episode of that Feet Fables? And Don holding up that sock. And now you can buy socks on Feet Fables on Facebook. I mean, come on. Stop feeding the production and start helping the people that's actually doing research. There is no way that I would buy Feet Fable socks, glitchy dancer shoes, refit shoes. Now we've tied it into the refit shoes and the refit dance and refit flash mobs that you pay. You pay these people to go out and do flash mobs and stuff. Well, it's those people are out of Waco, Texas, and they're the ones that was doing the first glitchy dancer flash mob dance. And when he's changing his tennis shoe into his tennis shoes, they're refit tennis shoes. So it's almost like an advertisement for the shoes as well. And if you notice at the end of the credits of all these glitchy dancer things, it's like, And this is to the higher power of Jesus Christ. And, it's just full of religious ideology. Exactly. Hidden in plain sight. And 110 Ben Hill Road, that used to be all that property, all the way down to the creek, used to be four different addresses. And it shows that there was more than one basement on all that property. Up on that hill was two houses at one time. And there's supposed to be two basements on that property. Where's the other basement? If you listen to Allie at the beginning of Chris's interview, excuse me, sorry, she says that one of the trucks that has no motor and stuff has been moved, and it's been moved up by Grandis's trailer. And she said that she has no idea why they have all of a sudden decided to move this vehicle, and it has been moved since Summer's disappearance. I think that she was giving them a big clue right there. Why would they bother to move a truck that has no engine in it, that has no anything in it, and drop it? Honey, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy realist. There's a big difference. TB, I didn't move that truck. But tell me anything that I have said today that would even be a conspiracy theory. I've cleared up what I said about the organ thing, because never did I say that's what was going on. What I said was that's what Tim had put on his Facebook. So I was bringing forth information that I had found on Tim's Facebook. But we also know that Tim likes to post crap that's not true. But if there was a possibility that that happened, I have found 25 physicians that could make it happen. All right there in that church. But I think there's something a whole lot more simpler going on with Summer. Like either she is still on that property in a hole in the ground, and sometimes she's up, she's with them, because you hear her sometimes on the phone. I've heard her in conversations. I think other people has heard a child there too. Or she has been moved to a different church sect somewhere to hide her from CPS temporarily, i.e., like Mexico. And I think all this vehicle trading and this driving this vehicle and driving that vehicle, that's, I think that was planned from the very beginning to confuse the police, to confuse TBI, to waste their time mainly while the child was on a plane being took to Mexico. Right, Cammy, she probably has. Y'all remember Cher's video of the Young Eagles program where all these pilots was taking these kids um, in the SDA church, all these pilots was taking these kids for plane rides and they were holding up these cards. And these cards were for anti-trafficking. No, she's not being experimented on. That's way too far out there. But Cher done a video on these kids being taken up in these airplanes, and each one of these kids was given cards to hold up, and their picture was being taken. And it was supposed to be anti-trafficking cards, if I remember right. I'm trying to be real here. I'm not trying to be, oh, she's being experimented on or she's being, um, her eyes are being planted into somebody else's. I mean, let's not do that. Let's try and keep it simple and get to the source here. That's right, Cookie. That's exactly right. Cookie agrees. Is it Mexico? It is. Cookie says Mexico. Is Mexico where we need to look for Summer? Is that where they took Summer? You got to think about that. Well, tell me what your opinion is. Bark once for Mexico. Talk to me. Oh, you're just going to go back to sleep? She says Mexico. I mean, I think that's where we need to look. But I think it's something simple like that. At the time, Cher was talking to Don a lot. So Cher come up with this information about these airplanes from somewhere. And she showed these planes. And she showed these planes with these kids in them in Hawkins County. Two-seater, three-seater planes. And they were taking these kids for rides. Oh, is that what she wants as a treat? It's not time for a treat, though. I'll get her one when I get up. I don't know. I'm not on the Rose case. I think when they all end up in a jail cell together, that the Rose thing will fall in place. I think the Rose case will solve itself pretty much when Summer's case is solved. I'll go see if we got a treat cookie. But if I have found, excuse me, the root of this glitchy dancer, and it goes back to the SDA church, how in the world is that a conspiracy theory? How am I building a conspiracy against the church if the evidence is there? That's what I don't get. How can these other creators say that I'm building a conspiracy against the church when the evidence speaks for itself? Right, and see, Sierra, they have jumped over her birthday. And it's not send Summer birthday card. It's let's send her Valentine's Day cards. Well, Cher thought that it was important enough to make a video of all those kids flying with those anti-trafficking cards. I will have to get with her and ask her why she felt that it was important enough to make that video. Oh, I believe wholeheartedly he is an informant. Well, you got to talk for it. Speak. Speak louder. Bart, speak. All right. I guess that's what it was. She wanted a treat. I don't have her number. She needs to send me her number so me and her can talk for real. I had to have something to separate the... I don't hardly use my kitchen since it's just me. And I just pulled that old thing out of the closet to tack up there between the kitchen to block off so I could heat the rest of the house. I have gas heat. But yeah, I'm from the South, so I support Confederate history. Well, it's a flag, is what it is. It's a flag that represented 13 states. It did not represent what people say that it represented. It represented 13 independent states. There is more blood on the northern flag than there ever will be on a southern flag. I'm mixed myself. I've got native blood. I've got some German blood. I have got some Scottish blood. So I am not what people think that flag stands for. So one more is all you can have because you're getting fat. What? Whisper. All right. That's all. But anyway, now the dog got her snack. As one of you suggested, our mascot got her snack. And she said to tell y'all that she has snacks on her Amazon wish list. And she picked her out a couple of chew bones that's on her Amazon wish list. I think that she was gone before the 15th. And until somebody can prove that different, and I have tried to ask Chris McDonough several times in different chats when he went, if he's seen her on any of the CCTV or anything like that, and I've never got an answer back. And I would love to know if she was ever seen that day, because the TBI put out something like on December the 15th to the public. If anyone's seen her, anyone seen her on June the 15th at any time during that day, to please contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. So that little statement that they put out, and it was just that one sentence, that told me they was looking for anybody that's seen her other than the usual suspects that we all know about, right? They want to talk to anybody that's seen her on June the 15th. Well, I even tried that, and the super chat just went by, and it didn't get answered. So I don't know why he's not answering that. But the TBI did put out back the middle of December, if anybody's seen her June the 15th to contact them at any time during the day. And I took that as a clue that maybe nobody has come forward that's really actually seen her other than Grandma, Dad, Mom, Hunter, Allison. The usual suspects. Jody Sue. Because now we've got all of the suspects somewhere where they can be accounted for on the 15th. Right? We've got Andy on camera. Don's at work. Candace is in and out of stores and makes a point to go in and out of several stores. But what about Summer? And I think Tennessee arraigns and the juries do all their stuff in April and September. Mother's Day, I think, is the last definite. But that picture still looks put together to me of her and Robin together because of the one where she's holding a necklace and Robin is wearing the necklace, because the arms look all kind of funny and twisted together. And then that's the one to where she's either holding her finger down, but it looks like the finger is cut off completely in the photo. And the photo looks photoshopped. I am looking for a picture, y'all. And I need y'all to get to work and help me find it. Hey, Helen. In this picture, it was going around real popular with the pictures of the last known photo of Summer and the upload of Summer's brother at 6:10. And this was 2 bags sitting on the table. This is the picture that I'm looking for. I need that picture of the 2 bags that was sitting on the kitchen table. And here's why. People kept saying, well, it looks like they were packed up to go somewhere. And it did. It looked like there was 2 bags that were packed, ready to go somewhere. But being the EMT that I am, one of them looked like a rescue bag. One of them kind of looked like an airway bag. And that picture just kind of disappeared before I could examine it and look at it real close and determine if it was an airway bag or not. if that bag is an airway bag, then that could change everything. Because either somebody from the rescue squad was at that house way earlier in the day, or David Dotson, being a paramedic, was at that house way, way before anybody else was. It it was the one close, like right there by the door where the kids all were standing, where they normally take pictures, like where the brother was standing to take his picture, the one that was uploaded at 6:10. Seems like there was a table over to the right of that, if memory serves me right. And they were like long duffel bags. One of two things. They were packed to go somewhere, had her a pack. Yes, one of them was yellow. And if that yellow bag is an airway bag, then somebody's in trouble. I need that picture. I don't remember because I've not seen the picture since like July or something. I just remember seeing it and thinking to myself, gosh, that kind of looks like an EMT bag. And that was before I was doing videos or anything. And that's why I don't have it. Y'all just look and see what you got of any long duffel bags on the table. Is there anything that y'all want to talk about that I haven't covered today? Anything that we want to clear up? Anything that hasn't been talked about? Because this isn't just my platform, this is y'all's platform too. If there's something that you want to talk about, let me know and we'll talk about it. If there's anything that any other creators have said that has happened over here that's not true, that we need to clear the air about, let's clear it. That's okay, Blue Willow. Oh, you want to talk about my lipstick, huh? It's a Kat Von D shade, and oh, I forget the name of it, but it's made by Kat Von D. What you want to ask about Tim Mullen? Blondie was the one that had a question about Tim Mullen. I do think Candace uploaded the photo. Right? You put his name in a YouTube search. What happened? I found a documentary on the history of Kingport. Have you seen it? No, I haven't. I heard somebody say yesterday that he had a YouTube channel. But again, I'm not anything that they have put up to make money. I'm not pressing on because after he put up that summer sales, I didn't appreciate that. What was it if it wasn't a channel? And Flower Power, I watch J for Justice sometimes, but again, you really can't ask a question over there unless you're throwing up, big amounts of super chats. And I don't have that kind of money. I've not been working. So I can't throw up $20 super chats to ask a question. So I just... now see, that's interesting. And weather-wise, that would be about right for her to be wearing long sleeves like that. March would be the right time. Tim acts like he's just as strung out as the rest of them. He acts like Don's twin. He's got the same twisted amount of humor. He's got the same disposition. And he may very well be on the same drugs. I think he authored a book under the name Jim Goad, and it's called The Redneck Manifesto. I don't think that he's his twin. I just said that he acts like. He is trying to manipulate everything and control this for money. And I guarantee that they have signed something over to Tim for if they go to jail, for Tim to publish this, to make money off of this, for them So they have money on their books and stuff while they're in jail. I don't watch A.F. Pennington. She come over here and she made a comment on my channel that was very uncalled for, that was very rude. And I don't know the woman. I don't go to her channel and make rude comments. And she came over here and she said something very rude. And I blocked her. And I've not had any more run-ins with her, but for her to be the Christian person that she claims to be, instead of talking to me about whatever situation she didn't like, or even trying to even just have a conversation about opposite opinions, it was an attack in a comment. I didn't appreciate it. If you have a difference of opinion, that's okay. Let's discuss it. That's what's great about being in America, is freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom to think and choose what you believe. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to feel what I feel. You don't have to think what I think. So if we differ and we're adults, we should be able to discuss those differences of opinion, right? Or that's what I've always thought we should do. Because if you tell me why you don't agree with me, and you have your opinion and you tell me why, it may very well change my outlook on things. You never know. And that's how cases get solved. It's called brainstorming. When everybody comes together and storms their own brains and then talks out the conclusions that they've come to. Is McBee leaving? Yeah, I definitely need to slow down. And I was doing a lot better. I had this little pod thing that my daughter had bought me. Oh, and by the way, if my daughter is watching, Courtney, happy 21st birthday, baby. Mama loves you. I hope it's a good one. But anyway, I had this little pod thing that I was smoking. It was like a little vape. And I don't know what happened to it. And I was doing really good with it. I guess I need to buy me another one. No, I do need to slow down. Alright, guys, I have had you here for 102 minutes. Fixing to be 103 minutes. And we are coming to the time to where I'm going to ask if you can and you can afford it, throw a couple of dollars of super chats up there. And again, it all goes for research and keeping up the subscriptions for research. The background check apps to keep the subscriptions up, is around $30 a month. The barnyard animals is around $30 a month. The newspaper subscriptions is around $30 a month. So it costs to keep up the research material, and every penny that y'all send, that's what it goes for. It does not go for cigarettes. I do not even take the money off of the card. It all just stays right there, and when the bills are come due, and I do keep the premium on the YouTube premium. So, and if y'all can't afford it today, that's fine and great. I just love my subscribers, and I love that y'all love me. And y'all can catch me on another day. Phil Conquer. Maybe, I don't know Phil Conquer. That must be a joke. My PayPal is goddess.syn77@gmail.com. And it's the same email to send a pic to. And the cash app is the $, Valkyrie.syn. How is printing thing of my computer? Dude, you got to go. I hardly ever time anybody out or put anybody or report anybody. I mean, it's just like maybe 4 or 5, but every once in a while you just got to do it. Sure thing. I don't know if I can even type while can I type while I'm in here? Nope, I can't type. It's at the beginning of most all my videos, but as soon as I jump off of here, I will type it in the bottom. And Cookie does have Amazon wish list. I'll refresh that for you guys. And nothing is expensive on the Amazon wish list like Bullhorn Betty or anything like that. Cookie's not asking for a doggy computer or an iPhone or anything like that. I think she's got a couple of bag of snacks and stuff like that. I don't know if that's smoke behind me, or it might be an orb, or there's a ghost that comes through every once in a while. I've noticed on some of my videos that I have an orb that comes through, and I think my son that passed away, I think sometimes he comes through and lets me know that he's still okay. That's the only thing I can figure as far as the orbs in the house. But anyway, I love you guys, and if there's any topics that y'all want to talk about, that y'all want to, yeah, I lost him on the 4th of July, but, no, I'm not like that, Moonchild. If there is anything that y'all want to talk about or any questions, and like I said, I don't care if it fits my narrative or not, we will discuss it out. This is not just my platform. This is my subs platforms too. I don't answer questions just for super chats. I don't even ask for super chats until the end. And then, like I said, those are used strictly for keeping up the research apps. So I am not like the other creators. And if there's anything that y'all want to discuss, or another topic, or anything, just let me know, and we'll get it up there and we'll discuss it, because this platform belongs to you guys too. Because I've said this 100 times, without my subs, I'm nothing. If you guys take off and leave me, I'm sitting here talking to myself. So I love you guys. You guys are 100 with me. I'm 100 with you. So I hope that all of y'all have a beautiful day, and the rest of your day is so blessed. And I love you. I'll see y'all later.